Howdy folks, it's Doodly Squatch. Coming back at you with another interesting commission I had for the card game Exquisite Corpse. And let's just dive right into it. So here we go. So today's video, I wanted to talk about like the idea of good notes from clients and how they help you with your design. As you can see, I have a sort of finished sketch, and then in the left is the sort of notes that Eric at Play Exquisite on Instagram sent me back, and the idea being the sort of long-running mouth I had going up the original drawing would have just made things difficult knowing where to stack it and the kind of order things go in. So making a definite like top, middle, and bottom was good for this one. It was fun because it was a longer pattern, so you got to do 4 cards. I also did a 5-card one that's like a totem of a bunch of heads. I haven't posted that yet. But this one in particular kind of goes into the same vein as the Spaceman with the ooze and a couple other of my monstrosities. The idea is that we're going to make like a booster pack with just my stuff in it for the game. The title we've been bouncing around, it has to do with my brain. Un momento, por favor. Like Planet X, so Planet EX, like the game Exquisite, that sort of thing. Like Horrors of Planet X, and when the time comes, I'm gonna create like a logo for it, and make it kind of like almost like a pulp novel cover. Some of those, or those comics where there's some kind of those like what are they called? Like the horror ones, or like Freak Show or Creep Show, where it's some kind of provocative image to get you to want to buy it. But this has been really fun, and it's for me it's a good example of good notes that help make my design more appealing and just overall work out well. And it's good communication. I'm lucky in this instance where they can actually take the image and sort of like doodle on it and show me what it is they're wanting, or at least a direction in where to take things. In past experiences, I've had people where they're trying to explain what they want, but they don't have a background in art or that sort of thing. So there's struggles sometimes there, or just miscommunications. Not to say that I didn't eventually finish those projects and they ended well. So this is more just talking about when things go really well, I would say. But yeah, this was a really enjoyable one to fiddle with. Kind of like a large, we called it like the death worm, hence my thumbnail. But yeah, so this was really fun. I loved all the different sort of mouths and teeth to work with, and then figuring out a good way to put depth into it and just make some colors that pop, trying to avoid using the same colors over and over, especially if these cards are all going to be in a set. Drawback to being colorblind, I get very comfortable with certain palettes, and it's hard for me to venture out, I guess. But when I was working on this guy, I was thinking of the movie Tremors and the big graboids there. I remember the second one in particular, like that one like scared me like bad. just because, you know, the graboids suddenly becoming, you know, bipedal and looking like these angry chickens wandering around the gas station, and the guys, you know, trying to get away from them and having to shoot them and all that. Nevertheless, a fun movie. I enjoyed it. Didn't really care for any of the sequels after that. It seems like only the one actor really wanted to stay on, and they just used him to death. But yeah, also, you know, Little Shop of Horrors, thinking about that when it comes to, like, you know, sort of plants that eat people and monsters and that sort of jazz. What else? Ooh, sorry folks, dead air. As far as my last video, when I was feeling a little blue, things have taken a turn for the better, I'd say. And it's not like my situation has really changed. It's just my attitude towards it. When it comes to things you can't control, and being able to just sort of roll with it, and more so not give it as much rent in my head. Sort of accepting the fact that, you know, the way I feel about my job at times is just me, and it's not, you know, there aren't people out to get me, and, you know, but there's also not people that are gonna like coddle me. So just got to put my big boy pants on and just work, and, you know, roll with the punches, and you get past them. You know, you get past hard things. Life is about, you know, stuff being hard and challenging, and you get better. You know, it's like anything you do in life. You know, I wasn't a great artist to begin with. I was just a little kid that liked to scribble and just kept rolling with it. And, you know, there would be times where the phenomenon of being like the artist kid in your class, and then a new school year starts and there's a kid in your class that draws better than you. Oh man. That's it's certainly an important experience to have, because you there's always someone better than you out there. Oh my gosh, there's so many amazing artists, and the thing is you get to a point where you're like, well, yeah, you know, they're able to draw such and such better because that's been like their thing, and that's what they've, you know, sort of pursued. And, you know, it doesn't mean you can't continue to improve on what you love to draw. You know, I don't think I'll ever be drawing, you know, photorealistic people, and it's not because I, you know, it's because I don't want to. It's not a matter of golly, I'm not good enough to do that. It's like I just don't want to invest the time that it would take to do that, because, you know, to me it's not, I don't know, it's not not to belittle anyone that does it. You know, it's just, you know, it's not my thing. I like to create things that don't exist. You know, being able to draw something well that exists is, you know, a talent in its own, but it's just not mine. And that's okay. I'm able to, like, appreciate and enjoy that kind of art, you know, without having to actually do it. I'm always amazed when I go sit for these oil painters to practice painting like portraits, and they paint my face and it looks like me, and just being able to get those right colors of skin tone and shading and all that without outlines, and just using big blocks of color, and to be able in 3 hours to basically paint my portrait is amazing. I love it. And, you know, it's definitely not something I could ever, you know, I don't really see myself doing it, but it's just not my bag. You know, it's just not what I'm interested in, and that's fine. You know, that's what everyone's up to. But back to my original point. Yeah, being in class and realizing that you are no longer top dog of the doodling. It's a little rough when you're younger. It's kind of like being the tallest kid for a long time, and then suddenly there's this monster that joins your class. So another thing I've experienced, which is kind of funny. Whereas nowadays, boy, I'm glad I'm not the tallest one in the room. It's so much easier. Sure, I'm tall, sure I stand out, but there are bigger people out there, and that's good. I can appreciate that for sure. And but working on this card game and seeing the other cards and other artists that are involved, it's a little nuts to see to know that it's like I get to be a part of this, and it's really cool because Eric sent me the sort of game manual in a PDF over for me to sort of get an idea of how the game works, so I can try and incorporate that into what I'm drawing, that sort of thing. But in the game manual, there's this big illustration by Ewan. I can't remember. He was Ewan, but now I think he's Uncle Ewan. But he has a YouTube channel where he draws or shows off his sketchbooks, or he does a lot of ballpoint pen art. Really impressive stuff, really amazing stuff. He does just the coolest goblins ever, and to see that he's involved, and so he's done some artwork for this, and I'm like, cool, I get to be like, it's like being in the same room as him, and I'm just a big old fanboy. I love his stuff. I love his flesh bobs that he draws, and he did a ballpoint drawing of the Mona Lisa that I wish I'd have snagged a print of. It's just so very impressive, and watching him has helped me up my game when it comes to like my ink drawings and the lighting, and using more than one color of ballpoint pen, sort of making those fun gradients. I just love it. So it's just, yeah, I'm just a giddy little schoolgirl thinking about that. Like, oh my gosh, I'm in something with Uncle Ewan. Bless him. I would say, I would definitely check out his YouTube. He's across the pond, so his language can get a little coarse for some of the some of the colonizers out there. But I really like it. And anywho, that's the end of this. You will notice in the final image there's even more changes in it, because after I had recorded this and sent it off to Eric, he had a few more suggestions that really made it pop. Getting the making the astronauts look a little more desperate in their attempts to get away from the plant. So take note of that, and it's just a good way of showing your creations are an ever evolving thing, and you got to be willing to make changes and improve things when you've got a paying client. So hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time, and appreciate you. Bye.